Hi and welcome to the final week of Preptober and the start of November Writing Challenge. I think I'm going to call it November Writing Challenge since I'm not taking part in any official challenges. If you followed along my Preptober vlogs, you know that I'm planning to write a modern retelling of Pride and Prejudice in November. Last week I finished outlining the individual scenes, but I want to read the outline for a second time. I want to make sure that there aren't any open questions, that the scenes flow together, and that there is as much information as possible so that it's easy for me to write the scenes when I do start writing. Last week I read 20 scenes out of 53, and yesterday on Monday I read 5 scenes more, so I've read 25 scenes out of the 53. That means that I have 28 scenes left. Today is Tuesday, October 29th. A week ago on Tuesday I managed to outline 28 scenes, and I'm hoping that I can do the same today. There are 3 things that I still need to do before November. First, I need to finish reading the outline, and then I still have some handwritten notes that I need to type into a Word document. Those are mostly snippets of dialogue or other ideas that I've had for the scenes. And then I need to copy paste those notes from the notes document into the actual outline under the correct scene, so that everything will be organized and ready for me to start writing on Friday. But there's still a lot to do before November, so let's get to work. As I'm trying to fill in the gaps in the outline, I'm also doing a little bit of research. So right now I'm looking at the lunch menu for the Ivy restaurants in Los Angeles. Do you think Lizzie would eat lobster ravioli for lunch? Anyway, it's around noon and I'm getting a bit hungry, so I think it's time for my own lunch. It wasn't as easy today as it was a week ago, but I have now read 22 scenes, so I have 6 scenes left that I can read in the evening. I think I got a bit lost doing unnecessary research, but at least my outline is looking good now, and I will finish reading it tonight. It's Wednesday evening. Yesterday I finished reading the outline. The outline has over 23,000 words, which is almost half of the word count I'm aiming for, so I think I could call it a 0 draft. Anyway, today I will type out my handwritten notes into a Word document. Earlier this month I've already written over 1,000 words of notes, so we'll see how many words I end up with today. Earlier this month I had written down 1,234 words, and after today I have 2,366 words in my notes. So I've doubled the word count in my notes document. These words added to the 23,000 words I have in my outline mean that I have over 25,000 words written already. But that's just random notes and the outline, so there's still a lot I need to write. It's Thursday, the last day of October, and it's time to do some organizing. I'm combining my outline and notes into one Word document and organizing the notes so that they are under the right scene heading. That means that if I've thought of a good line of dialogue for the meet cute, for example, it will be in the right place when I start writing that scene. It's mostly just a lot of cutting and pasting. The word count of the combined outline and notes is 25,709 words. It's Friday, November 1st, and it's time to start writing. It's around 9 am. My goal is to write 1000 or 1500 words, hopefully by noon, but we'll see how that goes, and another 500 words in the evening, so 1500 to 2000 words today. I'm excited but also a little nervous to start, because whenever I start a new writing project I always fear that I've suddenly lost my ability to write. That's especially true now because the first scene is something that I've never written before, but it's also a short scene and I'm trying to tell myself that I only need to write a very rough draft version of it. But once I get to the second scene and the actual narrative starts, the writing should become a lot easier. So let's get started. I just finished the first scene. It took me an hour and a half and it's only 339 words. So, like I suspected, it was a really difficult scene. I hope the next scenes will be easier and faster. It's noon. I've written 1100 words more, so 1400 words in total. But I have not yet finished scene 2. I want to finish scene 2 before I stop, but I think I'm going to take a little break for lunch now. It's 1 p.m. and I just finished scene 2. Scene 2 has 1616 words, so in an hour I wrote around 400 words more. In total today I've written 1955 words, which is more than I had planned. I will continue writing this evening and start scene 3. I probably won't be able to finish it, but I hope that I will at least be able to write around 500 words more. So hopefully by the end of the day I've written 2500 words. It's 8:30 in the evening. I took a bit of a break. I edited and posted a Write With Me video, which you can find here. And now I'm ready to get back to writing. I'm starting scene 3 and my goal is to write at least 500 words. It's Saturday morning. My goal today is to write another 1500 to 2000 words. I want to at least finish scene 3 and get started on scene 4. If not, finish that also. I'm not sure how long it's going to be. I wrote 1999 words. Today was a much slower writing day and my characters keep rolling their eyes. But that's something that I can fix in draft 2. Anyway, it's around 3 p.m. so I think I'm going to call it a day. It's Sunday morning at around 10 a.m. I started my day by doing some laundry, but I'm ready to continue writing now. I want to write at least 1000 words more today, but I'll write until noon and then see how I'm doing, whether I still need to add some words or if I've already reached my goal, whether I'm inspired enough to keep going. It's noon and I've written 577 words. So I have not reached my goal yet. This scene is proving to be quite difficult. There's a lot of dialogue, and even though I do know what the characters are talking about, there were several topics that the characters needed to discuss, and I wasn't sure in which order it made sense to introduce those topics and how to transition from one topic to another. There are also 8 people in this scene, which is frankly too many, but they all need to be there. So I needed to focus on the main characters while also giving room to the other characters. One thing that is completely missing from this draft is the setting, so the scene is suffering from a white room syndrome. But on this draft I'm focusing on getting the dialogue down, and I can add the scene details in later drafts. I should be done with the dialogue now, so I can move on to a little bit of narrative that wraps up the scene. And the next scene should be relatively short. But I think I'm going to take a little lunch break now and then come back and finish this scene and hopefully also the next. It started snowing, so I cozied up under my blanket. I finished writing the scenes that I wanted to write. So what I wrote today, this is a bit confusing to explain, but what I did today was I finished scene 4 and I wrote scene 4.2. So what happened was, as I was outlining the novel, I added some new scenes and I numbered them .2. Just so that I wouldn't have to change the numbering of the subsequent scenes. So I have a few scenes that are numbered .2. Those are mostly shorter scenes that will be part of the same chapter. So scenes 4 and 4.2 will probably be part of chapter 4, although I'm not sure if scene 1 will be its own chapter. It's a bit confusing to explain, but the most important thing is that it makes sense to me and I understand what the scene numbers mean. Anyway, I wrote 1266 words today, and in total during these 3 days I've written 5939 words. So I'm doing pretty great. I'm going to stop for the day and continue reading Shadow and Bone by Lee Bardugo. I started reading this yesterday. And I'm going to relax for the rest of the day and continue writing tomorrow. But you'll see that in my next blog, so I'll see you then.